The Raider of the Monies. Hello coders, welcome to another episode of Datapack Tools. Today we are going to be delving into array looping and the amazing possibilities that gives us. So without further ado, for the demonstration today we have the golden chest. To craft it, you need 8 golden blocks and 1 nether star. Simply place them in the crafting table as such, and you craft a golden chest. This is the look of them. They have the end portal imagery in the center because they can store large amounts of items. Here you have your scroll wheel for the golden ender chest. Cost to add is 1 golden block. If I scroll, you can see the wheel goes up and down. To demonstrate this, you can see all the nether stars moving up and down. You click this and it removes 1. 1. Now it costs 2. Each row incrementally costs more and more. You can also shift click to go to the bottom of all your rows and click Q to go to the top. So you're thinking, okay, so it stores a lot of items. What's the big deal? Well, it also stores it between all golden chests. If you take out those nether stars, no longer in there. So it's a better version of the standard ender chest. The maximum amount of rows is 39 due to limiting in the amount of gold you can hold in your inventory. So why is this so impressive? Well, in Minecraft you can have arrays, which we will visualize with these colored wools. Each of these are a different index of the array, starting 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4. Now, in most other languages, you could set a scoreboard or an integer to a number, let's say 4, dynamically, so it can be any number, and then search for the 4th index of that array, and it would give you yellow. But in Minecraft, you can't dynamically search for indexes of arrays. So what you have to do is do something called array looping. And what this consists of is, in simple terms, you check the first element and say, hey, are you what I'm looking for? Do you have the ID that pertains to this certain player? And if it doesn't, it takes the white wool, it copies it to the end, so it appends it to the array. Then it removes the first element. Then it does the same. It says, hey, are you the element I'm looking for? You're not? Okay. I copy you there and delete. Are you? Yes, you are. That's great. Now you might need to either do one of two things. Every time, reset it to the first index, which you do by looping this until it is back at the first index, or by simply saving whatever index number you have at the beginning and then running it until you find that again. Therefore, each loop, unless it meets a certain ID in the array, it will fully return and check every index instead of just stopping at the first. Here is the template for doing an array loop. You first store the ID of the first index in the storage to a number. Then you first check if it matches what you're searching for. So like in this case, it is the player. So we're checking if the array index matches the player. And if it doesn't, then you simply append the entire array from the first index, and then you remove the first index, and then you run this function again. It is a recursive function where it runs itself again and again. Now, the only problem that I haven't built into here is if the player's storage ID does not exist in the array. Now, this is impossible as every player adds the player's array, but if it were a possibility, you could also check if the storage ID here matches the first storage ID you checked, and you would need another function to copy that down originally. How does this pertain to the golden chest? Well, you start with an array of players, Creeper, Steve, Zombie, and in each of their elements of that array, they have an array of rows. Each of these is 9 slots, ignore the fact that they're chests, yes, it's visualization. And they each pertain to a certain row in the golden chest. So you first check Creeper, that's not Steve, that's not the correct storage ID. So you cycle Creeper in its entire row, I'm not gonna move all those chests, up to the end. Then you check Steve. Hey, that is correct. So then you search through this row of chests, or row of arrays of array elements, and you find the correct row to display. Now when the player clicks on the up or down arrows, what happens is the number that is displaying all of the rows moves up or down, and that affects what rows are displayed, and you cycle into there. This visual here is set by some math between 1 and 40. There are 40 different frames that the scroll wheel can be displayed. Then, at the end or at the beginning of the next round, you either set it all back to 0 or you copy down the ID you're currently on so you don't run infinitely. That's it for today, folks. In the description, there are download links for the 1.16.5 and 1.17 versions of Datapack tools. Thank you for watching. It really means a lot. And please go down and leave a like and subscribe. And as always, keep coding.